Good evening and thanks for trusting MTN on this Sunday. I'm Keely Van Middendorp. Beginning tonight in our capital city, there was a large gathering at Montana's Capitol building to protest the death of George Floyd. MTN's Alexi Oguayo was there at the scene and reports.
Hello everyone, as you can see behind me here, protesters have gathered peacefully to protest the death of George Floyd. The organizer estimates that about 1,000 to 1,500 people are here. You can see signs and hear chants demanding justice for George Floyd. Cars are also passing by, honking, showing their support. Attendees say that even in rural Montana, these issues still affect everyday people and would like to see change all across America. At the Capitol, I'm Alexi Guayo, MTN News.
Thanks, Alexi. And there was one arrest made at that protest today. Helena PD chief says the individual was actually impersonating a police officer. We'll have more from today's rally, and of course the full coverage tonight at 10. Near Clancy, fire crews are hard at work containing the GULCH fire that ignited near Sheep Mountain Saturday afternoon. The latest update says around 1,500 acres have burned as more resources are pouring in. It's burning in heavy dead and down timber and caused several evacuations and pre-evacuations yesterday. Now, all mandatory evacuation orders have been lifted, but some pre-evacuation orders are still in place. Officials say conditions today made it much easier to get a handle on that fire. MTN's Jonathan Ambarian reports.
For about 4 or 5 hours Saturday afternoon, heavy winds were driving the GULCH fire, causing it to spread quickly through heavy, dense vegetation and rough terrain.
Helenans got their first taste of the 2020 fire season and began to light up 911 calls and be very concerned about where that fire was.
When the wind shifted direction, and later when rain came through the area, that rapid growth slowed. Firefighters say it didn't spread much overnight. Jefferson County authorities allowed residents in the Sheep Mountain area to return home, but asked everyone in the area of the fire to stay ready to evacuate if necessary. Conditions can still change rapidly, and Sheriff Leo Dutton says people still need to be watchful.
If it dries out with the wind blowing and no rain, we could be back in this situation.
Dutton says this fire should be a reminder for everyone to think about what they need to do if they have to evacuate. He recommends planning for things like bringing important papers, photos, and medication, and making arrangements if you have large animals.
This is the time to think about what's coming up this summer, take advantage of it, and if you have a plan, you won't panic.
In Helena, Jonathan Ambarian, MTN News.
And the American Red Cross did set up a shelter for those evacuated at the La Quinta in Helena. Leaders say about 14 people stayed there last night, but all are now returning back to their homes. Well, conditions look much better out there today on the fire front. We're looking at even rain moving in this week with some droplets falling in the capital city already. Grant Garland joins us now. Good evening, Grant.
Good evening, Keely, and that is exactly right. And we desperately need this rain, especially after the fire yesterday. I mean, we are looking at widespread scattered showers and thunderstorms making their way through our area. Zooming in, though, closer to Helena, we're seeing that we saw a shower move through about an hour and a half ago. Deer Lodge getting in on some rain, Towson, White Sulphur Springs too, and this is going to continue as we head into the next several hours. So here's the good thing. We did receive over 2/10 of an inch of rain so far with that storm out towards Lewistown, just a couple hundredths of an inch so far, but the rain is making its way closer to us. And I want to go ahead and just mention that our friends in Daniels County, half of our friends anyways, you guys are under a low chance for severe weather. That is through 9 p.m. tonight, just due to the ingredients that's in our atmosphere as well as the cold front that's making their way through. So heads up, just half of the county looking at the chance for a low chance rather of severe weather. And this is what we're seeing on the iCam right now. We're looking at rain showers making their way in. Temperatures 60 degrees though. Later in the show, we're going to talk about our rain chances increasing as we go throughout the evening tomorrow. But for now, Keely, back to you.
It is a symbol of unity, dedication, perseverance, power, and freedom.
Well, today, June 14th, is a day that many honor the symbol that represents our nation's freedoms. Leaders at the Montana Air National Guard marked the day by releasing this video showing scenes around the Electric City and Flag Hill. The holiday's origin dates back to June 14th, 1777, when the flag was officially adopted by resolution of the Second Continental Congress as a national symbol. In the video, Colonel Thomas talked about the meaning of the flag's stars and stripes and their connection to America's fight for freedom. Thomas mentioned the tragic passing of Captain Ian Macbeth, who died fighting Australian wildfires earlier this year. A flag was presented to his family as a symbol of Macbeth's fight for justice throughout his military career and beyond. We'll have a link to the video posted on our websites. And staying with the Montana Air National Guard, the 120th Airlift Wing celebrated its new commander Saturday morning during a change of command ceremony. Colonel Trace Thomas assumed command of the wing. He was previously the wing's maintenance and operations group's commander. Airmen also said goodbye to their previous commander Saturday, Colonel Buell Dixon, who is now promoted to Brigadier General. He assumes command of the Montana Air National Guard. The change of command and promotion ceremonies were live streamed due to COVID-19 restrictions. And we've reached a milestone when it comes to the number of confirmed coronavirus cases here in Montana. According to the State Health Department, we are now at 601 confirmed cases. 72 are active. The latest cases include 5 in Custer County, 2 in Bighorn, 2 in Ravalli, and 1 case in Cascade, Flathead, Lewis and Clark, Missoula, and Gallatin County. 6 people are in the hospital right now. 510 people have recovered from the virus. 19 people have died. Now, the Cascade City County Health Department did say in a Facebook post Saturday night the patient is a woman in her 50s with no history of travel or contact with a known case. Well, the summer months are upon us, and typically that means so are annual summertime activities like the Great Falls Farmers Market. But this year's market is on layaway due to COVID-19 restrictions. While the Great Falls Farmers Market usually begins the first week of June, this year's start date has yet to be determined. That means the fate of this year's market depends on how quickly the state returns to Phase 3. Although other cities have resumed their farmers markets prior to Phase 3, market manager Michelle Wynn explained that doing so poses many challenges. She added that the setup of the Electric City event is too confined to allow for proper social distancing between vendors or easy maneuvering around the market.
I know that, obviously there are other markets that, are going on in Helena and Missoula, but the way that ours is set up, with our booth spaces, and we have numerous entrances, numerous exits, and so it would be very hard for us to maintain and I guess really enforce that, so to speak.
And we'll, of course, continue to update you with news about this year's farmers market as July approaches. Well, coming up next on the 5:30 News, Remote Learning in Review. We talk with one educator about how the rest of the school year went.
Powered by the Montana Television Network. The 5:30 News continues on Montana's News Leader.
And welcome back to the 5:30 News. Well, the spring semester has ended, and that had us wondering how successful was remote learning for teachers. For art teachers in particular, teaching remotely can pose a bit of a challenge. Courtney Harrent, the art department chair at Great Falls High School, found an online software called Flipgrid, which made giving feedback quicker and easier. She also said that being 3/4 into the semester before the pandemic hit was helpful because she had already established relationships with her students. Despite that, she says that both her students and herself faced some challenges throughout the spring.
I did a couple of different surveys throughout the process just to check in with my students, and I think that that was one of the things that as soon as they kind of figured out that they needed to find their own routine and ritual, it might not start until 10 a.m., but as long as they had kind of a routine for how they approach their academics, they were much more successful.
And MTN's Matt Holzaffel will have the full story about some of the challenges remote learning posed this semester tonight at 10. Well, explaining to young kids why they can't play with their friends or go back to school is something parents and teachers worry about. Chris Kant shows us one elementary class that found a way to stay connected through all the pressures of coronavirus and do something that brought smiles to kids' faces and tears to their parents' eyes.
An unfamiliar silence has been lingering in the halls of schools across the country. Schools absent of students long before summer vacation began.
I wake up and check my email to see who has questions.
But third grade teacher Reed Clapp has learned he doesn't need a classroom to keep his lesson plans on schedule.
Thank you so much for being patient with us.
It's about this time in the year that Mr. Clapp and his students at Madison Creek Elementary School in Tennessee would be preparing for their end of the year show. Grammarella is known far and wide across the district. Every third grade kid wants to be in it. Typically, the satirical Cinderella-based show about grammar would be performed in the library. But because of the virus, that stage went dark. Like so many teachers across the country, Mr. Clapp had felt like he had the rug pulled out from underneath him. But that's when it hit him, a new play called Zoomerella. He threw out the old script, started from scratch, even had his kids audition on Zoom.
All right, let's start. It really has been one of the biggest challenges I've ever attempted.
3, 2.
Online rehearsals have come with their fair share of challenges.
No, you're on mute. Can you unmute yourself?
But as the end of the school year approached, things started coming together.
Instead of, saying, well, we're not going to have a play this year, we're saying, how can we still do something that's original, and how can we do something that they're proud of?
As for these 8- and 9-year-olds, rehearsals have offered structure, a way to manage the pressure of this pandemic, so they don't feel as isolated.
The stuff that's been the hardest is actually getting your facial expressions when other people are talking and acting with your body.
And the kids have been learning too. 9-year-old Autumn plays Ella, the show's version of Cinderella.
How am I going to get into the Zoom room without a link or a password?
I've learned how to problem solve.
Yes, they're 8 years old and they're 9 years old, but what we really want is when we're saying, hey, you need some light back there, and they're like, I don't have a light back there, and we're saying, what can you do to put light behind you?
After weeks of trial and error, they pulled off a final performance and streamed it across the internet. Mr. Clapp couldn't have been prouder.
It's their version of how their school year ended.
Who knew that a bunch of third graders could show the world that even in the middle of a pandemic, the show can go on?
It's a long story.
I'm Chris Conti reporting.
And experts say even if your kids aren't in a classroom, just working on a problem-solving skills at home can help tremendously with their development. If you would like to see Zoomerella in its entirety, the whole thing is posted to YouTube.
All right, well, our next weather maker is making its way in right around 6 o'clock. Showers going to be firing up. We're going to talk about all this and more after this break. Welcome back, everyone. I hope the Bibbidi Boppity Boo song is stuck in your head from that last package, because it's stuck in mine. We have been looking at a very windy weekend, and over the last 24 hours alone, 45-mile-per-hour wind gusts here in Great Falls. A little bit less, though, down towards Helena, 38, out towards Jordan, 37, and Glasgow, 29. And our sustained winds at the moment, too, are breezy in some locations. Now, we have been looking at southwest winds at 20 miles an hour out towards Havre, out of 24 in Jordan. If you head on up to Cutbank, though, looking at 33-mile-per-hour winds in Cutbank, you guys have really had the short end of the stick when it comes to the wind. We were looking at 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts almost. And the thing is that yesterday, and we're going to continue to see that as we head throughout the next several hours. So let's say around 9 o'clock tonight, we're looking at 30 to 40 in Cutbank, 40 to 50 in Havre, 30 to 40 in Lewistown, as well as Great Falls, and 20 to 30 in Helena. Continuing throughout the night, right around 3 in the morning, 60 to 70 mile-per-hour wind gusts are possible at Cutbank, 40 to 50 here in Great Falls, as well as Lewistown, 50 to 60 and Havre, 40 to 50 in Glasgow. It's going to be just a very windy night and into tomorrow morning too. So as you're getting into your car, just heads up, you need to make sure that that you have both hands at 10 and 2. So that way you don't get blown off the road with the winds. 50 to 60 in Cutbank as well as Havre. And especially with the larger vehicles, I know with my car, it takes some wind to really move it, but it does. We have been looking at showers and thunderstorms over the last 3 hours, and zooming on in, we're really seeing just a few scattered showers making their way towards Chester as well as Guilford. Down towards, though, Great Falls south of us, we're seeing this masses of showers They were at one point producing a lot of lightning, but they have lost their luster. Right now we're seeing that rain-cold air in Helena, 47 degrees right now. 60 degrees though in Great Falls, 63 in Lewistown and Fort Benton. Our temperatures aren't registering there, but they are around the 64-degree mark. Elsewhere, 70 degrees in Glasgow, 71 in Jordan, out towards Cutbank 61 and Kalispell 58. Now today's average is usually around 73 degrees, but we're at 66, and the record was set back in 1987 when it was 98 degrees. Very warm day that year. Why are we seeing the weather that we are? It's because of this low pressure in Idaho that's allowing for moisture to kick up right around the Great Falls area. And the reason why we're looking at the chances for some severe weather for our friends in Daniel County is because of this cold front that's actually starting to make its way into North Dakota. As we head throughout the next several hours, though, we're going to be looking at a surface high that will continue to move towards the east, allowing for showers to continue behind it. Also, we're going to start to see this cold front associated with this low pressure. It's going to really move very quickly throughout the night. It's going to be knocking on our door right around 6 p.m. The best chance for showers and thunderstorms will start off in Helena before it gets closer to us. We're going to be looking at a rainy situation Monday night into Tuesday, so heads up, we are going to be looking at that. And our temperatures are really going to be cool on Wednesday, 61 degrees, but then by Sunday, 85. Hot. Hot, hot, hot. As we head throughout the next several days, we'll have a great chance for showers and thunderstorms each and every day. On Friday, though, we'll start to see our chances dwindle for showers. By Saturday, mostly sunny, as well as on Sunday. And then also for Helena, we're going to be looking at a good chance for showers and thunderstorms each and every day until right around Friday, whenever our chances start to dwindle and we'll start to see a drying trend. Keely?
Thanks, Grant. It's now 5:52, and coming up, what better way to celebrate America than a car show today? We'll have more from an event that brought vehicles of every make and model to the Electric City next. And welcome back. Well, last Sunday, we learned that Shelby teen Brighton Bunnell died in a car accident near Conrad exactly 1 week before his baseball team's home opener. Earlier today, the Tri-County Cardinals Legion program paid tribute to their friend and teammate. All the Cardinals players wore Bunnell's number 7 with special jerseys from Up Top, his favorite brand. Before the game, head coach Bjorn Swanson said there's no roadmap for the grief, but the goal for his team this season is to try to play the game with the spirit that Bunnell always brought.
I think the only failure would be if we didn't play the game with the love and the passion that Brighton had. I mean, it truly was for the love of the game that he was out here, and the joy that he played with, the frustration he played with too. I mean, no one wore their emotions on their sleeve more than Brighton Bunnell. You know, you can't replace a 7, but you can emulate, you can try and play the game with that kind of passion and that kind of joy.
And our deepest sympathies go out to Bunnell's family, friends, and teammates. We'll have more on this story tonight at 10. Well, voted Montana's most patriotic city of 2020, Great Falls is well known for its patriotic participation. Today, Great Falls took their patriotism to the streets in celebration of Flag Day. For 36 years, Flag Day has been celebrated with a ceremony honoring the Great Falls Realtors American flag and the flag raising at Broadwater Overlook Park. This afternoon, both the flag and the Great Falls Association of Realtors rose to the occasion as drivers cruised by the flag and paraded down 10th Avenue in full display of their American pride. A pre-recorded ceremony was also live streamed on Facebook in place of an in-person gathering due to COVID-19 concerns. Great Falls Association Realtors CEO explained why she believed this year's cruise in the flag is an important display of patriotism.
Just in general, Great Falls is a patriotic city. And in the state of the affairs of our country, we're really thinking that today is a good day to be patriotic. We need some healing, so we're just asking everybody to come out and show their patriotism.
Thompson said although the event was scheduled to last from 1 to 3 p.m., you can cruise by the flag anytime today. And stick around, a final check of your forecast is next.
We are looking at tomorrow, 70 degrees. We're going to see clouds building in, and then Tuesday we're going to have a good chance for showers and thunderstorms all throughout the day, including on Wednesday, where we're going to see mostly showers but a windy day at that. And it looks like Wednesday is also going to be our coolest day of the of the work week. For our friends in Helena, tomorrow clouds building in, a better chance to see some showers and thunderstorms as we head into the early to late evening. Then Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, just have that umbrella with you because you're going to need it.
All right, I can almost hear the winds like howling
It
here
is
above
loud
the studio.
here, yeah.
So always a good idea. Yeah, maybe a few rocks in your pocket too would be
very good.
smart.
Yeah, Mary Poppins though might just swing on in with her umbrella.
That's all the time we have tonight at 5:30. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great rest of your evening and stay dry.